Mohit, sorry, you can share the screen now.
Yeah, have we started?
Very well, very well.
Thanks. Uh,
Saurabh, you have the control, right?
yeah, I have. Have we started? Hello, everyone. Um, can you all hear me well? Hey, everyone. Um, hey, everyone. If you can all hear us, can you just put in a message of hi in the chat box just to confirm if you are able to hear us well? Um, if yes, can you use the chat box if possible and just check whether you can all hear us, see our screens? Just a quick confirmation. Hi, everyone. Very good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are joining in from. I'm Saurabh. I'll be your presenter for today and will help you understand how data is used, what are some of the key concepts of data in today's session. But before we start, a quick hello in the chat box to everyone would be really amazing. So just go to the chat box, type in hello to your fellow, fellow people here so that they are able to know that you're also here joining this particular webinar. Okay, welcome everyone to this session. Very excited to be here. If you can let us also know where you're joining in from, that will be great. And please use the option to send it to everyone so that others can also see your hello as well. Okay, so warm welcome. My name is Saurabh, and we are here to understand about data analytics and its program that we have, which is a DAE program known as Data Analytics Essential Program. And in this session, we will be understanding how data is used in different aspects of the business. Why do you need to learn data analytics? Why it is so important to learn data analytics? How do you learn data analytics? What are the key skill set that you should be learning? So we'll be covering up that in today's session. Okay, some ground rules before we start. So the first ground rule is that this is a listen only mode session. So we can't unmute and ask the question. So the only way to ask the question, share your thoughts, share your questions would be through the chat box. So that's why I'm encouraging all of you to use the chat box. Let's keep the session very interactive. Let's make the session extremely interactive. So put in any question that you may have about analytics. More than happy to answer. The team is also here to help you out. So make sure that we are using chat to get our questions answered. The session recording, Paul, like very good question. The session recording, as well as the content, will be shared with you as soon as we get it, say in 2 hours of time, on your registered email address, right? So after the session is over, in some time you should expect the recording as well as the content will be shared with you in your registered email address. So whatever email address you use for registering for this webinar, on that particular email address, you will get the recording as well as the content copy. So do not worry about the content or the recording. It will be shared with all of you. At the end of the session, you will be getting a small feedback form. So please try to fill that form because it helps us improve a lot so that we can give you some best content going forward. All right. So that's the small expectation. We all expect you to fill that particular form. That will help us a lot in improving the experiences of this particular session. Okay, so this is some guidelines, listen only mode. Use the chat box to ask your question, be interactive, say yes, no, whenever I ask some questions. The email which you use for registering for this webinar will have the recording as well as the content available to you. And please fill the feedback form. Okay, so a brief introduction about myself. I'm Saurabh. I'm joining in from Bangalore in India. I've got about 9 years of experience in the domain of data science and analytics. Currently, I'm working with this company called as Misho as a senior manager in data science. Before to Misho, which is an e-commerce company in India, I was working with LinkedIn for about 9 years. LinkedIn for about 3.5 years. In total, I have 9 years of experience. At LinkedIn, the role was to ensure that some of the big companies in the world is able to hire the right talent. So whatever data is required for the hiring needs of some of the big organizations, that is what I would use to work on. Uh, Before to LinkedIn, I was working with Airbnb for about 2 years. It was in the travel industry, specifically related to the post-COVID world. How would the travel shape in the next decade or so? That was the main objective, and we would look at the signals that we are getting from the users to predict how the travel in the 21st century would look like. And before to that, I was working with Walmart for about 4 years, and that's where probably I learned about how data is used for decision making, how simple data can improve the customer experience, how data is used in sourcing, procurement, customer supply, product analysis. All of that is what I learned at Walmart for about 4 years. So overall, 9 years of experience working with Walmart, then Airbnb, then LinkedIn, and right now I'm working with this e-commerce startup in India called as Misho. I've been a mentor with Great Learning for about 3 years, have taken a lot of DA batches, and it has been a experience of its own, helping people learn about the skill set of the data, which is so important in today's world. Okay, so welcome all. Excited to be here. I'm sure you'll take away a lot of learnings from today's session. What are we going to cover? We'll start with the introduction to analytics, like how does it work, what is analytics, how does data is used. Then we will be looking into some of the concepts, some small concepts we'll try to cover in today's session. In case you get any questions, would love to answer all of them. And we have this program which Mohit will explain you about, the Data Analytics Essential program. Okay, so this is the main agenda for today. Let's begin with the content. Okay, now if you observe things around you, there's a massive change that is going around. Whatever you are seeing, right? The world is changing ups and down, and data is at the core of it. So what has started to happen is since the last few years, every devices that we work on, every devices that you know about, can I say is getting connected to internet? Have you observed it? Your watch was a simple watch which would tell you the time, but nowadays the watch is smartwatch, and it is smart because can I say it is capturing a lot of your data. When do you wake up? When do you sleep? When do you eat? When do you walk? When do you run? When do you sleep? All of that information is captured by this watch, right? A simple watch which used to just give us the time, can I say now is contributing to a lot of amount of data being generated, created, and stored. Do you agree with that? Look at your cars. Have your cars gone from being just a vehicle which takes you from point A to point B? Instead of that, is it capturing a lot of information? When do you drive? At what speed do you drive? How much do you drive? When was the last time you did the servicing? Can I say all this data is nowadays getting captured in the car? Can I also consider this like a software on the wheels? Isn't it? Look at your television. It was a simple television where you could watch the shows, but nowadays it is a smart television. What is smart? He understands your pattern. When do you watch certain shows? What kind of shows you watch? With whom do you watch? It understands all of that and then gives you the recommendation. So can I consider now all the devices around us are getting connected to internet, and because all of the devices around us is getting connected to internet, a large amount of data is getting generated. Correct? Do you agree with this line? Like as we progress in the society, as we go ahead from here, can I say more and more devices will be connected to internet, and as more and more devices gets connected to internet, the large amount of data will be generated and stored. Yeah. So this is what is happening. Just take an example. In this Zoom call, as we speak, there will be around 856 minutes of webinars that are going around in the world. As we speak, people would have posted around millions of tweets, around 500K tweets are being made as we speak in 1 minute, right? So large amount of data is getting generated around us. Now, what is leading to this thing? Like why are the companies able to generate this large amount of data? The reason is, can I say the cost of storage has reduced drastically? what used to cost us $1 million, this is a true chart in 1980, if you were to store 1 GB of data, it used to cost us $1 million to store 1 GB of data. Nowadays, can I say it is just a cent? Isn't it? What used to cost us, just take an example of your phone. I can say this with confidence. Your last phone, your last laptop has more memory than your current, like your current phone has more memory than your last laptop. Any device, any personal computer that you are using, the memory in your phone is now higher than the last computer device that you were using. Isn't it? So can I consider that the cost of storage of data has reduced significantly? Right? It only costs us about a cent to store 1 GB of data on Google Cloud. If you're using Google Cloud or if you're using any of the cloud services, can I say they are relatively very less costly nowadays? Do you agree? Do you not agree? Important that you tell me your point of view here. Can I consider that the cost of storage has reduced significantly high? And if it has reduced significantly higher, can I say that the companies are trying to capture as many information as possible? Correct? If the cost of storage has decreased, can I say the companies want to store all the information about you? For example, let's say if you start your mobile phone and you go to Instagram, does Instagram capture all your information? Like where did you log in from? When did you log in? How much time did you log in? Which post did you see? Which post you did not see? Which post you liked? Which post you shared? Which post did you comment on? Which advertisement you saw? Which advertisement you clicked? Which advertisement you saw but did not click? Can I say in your 5 minutes of the journey, is Instagram able to capture all of this information? What do you think? Is it happening? Yeah, like do the companies nowadays invest heavily in capturing all your information, everything that you do, right? And why are they doing so? Because can I say the cost is low? If it used to cost us a lot, they wouldn't not have done this, right? Now, because the cost of storage has reduced, specifically because of this cloud system. The cloud system means you can access data from anywhere in the world at any time in any amount. Because of that, the cost of storage has reduced significantly, and the companies are storing large amount of data at a very low cost. And hence, you would find that there's tons and tons of data that the companies are capturing. If you look at the chart on the left-hand side, they're capturing tons and tons of amount of data, but they are not utilizing it. Okay, and the reason why, if you see 85 zettabyte of data is getting generated every year, and only 21 zettabyte of data is being used, the reason for this gap is that there are not enough professionals who can work on this data and utilize this data for companies to make decisions. So this is the opportunity that I'm talking about. This trend of increasing the data will continue to increase in the next 10-15 years. The cost is going to decrease from here on, and this amount of data that the companies is storing is going to increase massively. And hence, there is this opportunity that we need to tap in, wherein we can utilize this particular data, which is just 1/4. Right now, if you aggregate all the companies' data and see how much data they're utilizing for this particular analysis, is just 20, is just 1/4. Yeah, this is the area chart. Right, very good. So that's what is happening, and this is the opportunity that we need to tap in. Okay, now why the companies are using data? Okay, let's take an example and try to understand why the companies are relying on data for, or why are these companies investing so much to capture the data. Okay, let's see this next part. So now what happens is, for every company that you work for, there are business problems. Yeah, yeah. The hard drives have become so cheaper, right? It used to be like in so many dollars. Now it's hardly anything, correct? If not the cost, at least the space has increased. If you're using like 100 GB now, you can easily get 1 TB, 2 TBs of hard drive easily available at a very low cost. Okay, now what happens? There are business problems, and we need to make decisions. Correct? There are business problems, and we need to make decisions. Any company that you work for, can I say this is the route they need to follow? Business problems to decision. Point A is business problem. Point B is decision. Okay, now to travel from point A to point B, can be considered or can we use data for from traveling from point A to point B? What do you think? Can data help companies make better decisions? Utilizing data for decision making, do you think it's a good idea for the companies to use? Can they rely on data for making decisions instead of relying on gut-based decision making or fluke-based decision making? Do you think relying on data for making decisions will lead better results? What do you think? If I have a business problem, I have to solve this business problem. Does relying on data for making a decision, is it a good idea? Do you think the companies are doing it or should do it? Please say yes or no. I would love to know your point of view. Very much reliable to use data for decision making. Absolutely correct, Paul. Others, what do you think? Is it a good option to use data for everyday decision making, all the decision making? Yes, only if the right analysis is done. Absolutely correct. Agree with that 100%. Only if the right data is there and the right analysis is done. Yeah, it should be used for decision making. Absolutely correct. Okay, now before even we go to this particular part of making decisions through data, can I say it is absolutely critical? I'm trying to explain you the process of how data analysis works. Can I say it is absolutely critical for us to understand the business problem? Right? Unless and until you understand the problem, no matter what amount of data you have, what amount of information you have, maybe you'll not be able to make a right decision. So can I say the first thing in the process, the step one in the process is to understand the business problem? Right? If you're in banking, can I say you need to understand how banking problems are, what kind of problems the banking industry faces? Right? We need to understand the problem. If we don't understand the problem, we will not know which data to use, how to use the data. Take an example. Let's say if I give you the data of the sports that you have never seen, will you be able to analyze that data? Will you be able to make any sense of that data? Imagine, like, I don't know if you have seen cricket. Assume that you have not seen the sports of cricket. And if I give you a lot of data of cricket as a sports, would you be able to make any sense of that? If you have no idea about that particular sports, what do you think? Will you be able to? Data is there, but you don't know the context. You don't know the business problem. You're not very clear on the business problem. So even having the right data, will it be able to help companies make decision if the problem is not clear to the person who is using data for decision making? Yes, no, simple yes, no's in the chat would just help me a lot to know whether you're all here and able to understand. It would be difficult to solve. Very good. No, it's not possible. Yes, agree. So can I say the step one in the process is to understand the business problem? In order to understand the business problem, can I say we need to ask the right questions? Correct? If you go to the doctor, you are unwell, you go to the doctor. What does the doctor do first? Does he give you the medicines directly? Like you went to the doctor and he's like, oh, take these medicines. No. What he does, can I say he understands your problem? And how does he understand your problem? By asking you questions. Yes. He asks you a lot of questions. When are you not feeling well? What happened? What are the symptoms? What are you seeing? What are you feeling? How are you feeling? Aren't this a question that helps him understand your current state, your problem? Right? So asking the question, is it a good way to understand the business problem? Yes. In order to ask the right questions, can I say we need to know the domain? The domain understanding is absolutely critical. The doctor who is able to ask the question has studied a lot of time in order to come up with the right questions. He has spent almost 7-8 years learning about a particular part of the body, and hence he is able to ask the right question. In similar way, if you are in business, if you are in banking, can I say you need to know banking really well? Yeah, absolutely correct, Benjamin. So nicely put. Yeah. So in similar way, if we are working on any business problem, we need to understand the domain really well. If we are in tech, we need to understand tech well. If we are in banking, we need to understand banking well. If we are solving a marketing problem, we need to understand consumer psyche really well. If we are working on, if we are working in travel segment, we need to understand how travel segment works. If we are in retail, we need to understand how retail works. Do you all agree with this point? Like understanding the business problem requires you to spend a good amount of time learning about the domain of the business, right? That's the starting point. Okay, now once you have understood the business problem, the next step in the process, can I say step 2 in the process, would be to convert the data, convert the business problem to the data problem. Like we need to figure out which data can help us solve that particular problem. Take an example. Let's say a store, a retail store, sales is decreasing, say 5% a month over month. Okay, only one store. All the stores are doing well. Only one retail store is the sales is decreasing 5% one over one. And if I were to figure this out, can I say I'll have to look into a lot of data? I'll have to convert this business problem into the data that can help me solve this particular problem. Can I say I'll have to look into the store data? Can I say I'll have to look into the basket data of the user? Can I say I'll have to look into the customer data? Who's the customer? What is their age? What is their demographic? What is their income? Right? Can I say I'll have to look into very important part is competition data? Right? I'll have to look into returns data, because if the sales is decreasing, one of the things that can cause the sales decrease is the quality. And if I look at the returns data, can it be a good proxy to measure the quality? Do you agree with this? If the sales is decreasing, one of the factors could be the poor quality of the products in that particular store. Can return be a good proxy to measure it? If the return rate is higher, can I say the quality is not so good? Yeah. So what are you doing in this step? Can I say in this particular step, you are trying to solve that particular problem with the data, and you're trying to collect the data, you're trying to map the data to the problem. Correct? Is this making sense? Okay, now what do you do next? You have understood the business problem, you have understood what data you need to use for solving that particular problem. Now, can I say the step 3 in the process would be to do some statistical analysis, or EDA, exploratory data analysis as they call it as, or the statistical analysis. Okay, now what is this? Let's take an example. Let's say you are running a small ice cream store. Okay, let's take some data. You are running a small ice cream store and you are very tech savvy, you are very data savvy. So what you do is you capture the temperature and you capture the sales in units. Okay, the temperature is 10, the sales is 100. Temperature is 20, the sales is 200. The temperature is 30, the sales is 300. The temperature is 40, the sales is 400. Now, can you easily predict if the Google says that, you know what, the temperature will be 45 on Friday? Can you tell me what will be the expected sales based on this data patterns that we are observing? What is the expected sales here? Any guesses? 450. Very good. It is 450, right? Based on the pattern that you're observing on the data, it is likely to be 450. It could be not exactly 450, but near about 450. Now, if you know that the sales will be 450 beforehand, will it help you plan your inventory better? Right? If you know beforehand that 450 units of ice cream will be sold, will you go to the market and get 450 units of ice cream beforehand? Correct? Will this help make the decision of inventory much better, correct decision? Right? Eventually, we have to make right decisions. Will it help you plan your human resource better? If I know for every 200 units of ice cream, I need one person. So will it help me plan my human resource better? Will it help me plan my cash flows better? If I know this number, will it help me plan my cash flows better? Because 450 units, I need to go to the market and purchase it. I need cash to purchase it. So if I know this will happen, I'll plan my cash flows much better, right? So if you are relying on data, that's what I said at the very start. If you're relying on data for making decisions, can I say they are usually more correct than incorrect? The probability of success is higher than being lower, isn't it? Now, if you're enabling any companies to make decisions, now can I say this is a small example that I've given you, but for a companies like Walmart, Tesco, or any other company, isn't this a very important information? Isn't this analysis that you're doing? And if you're telling them what will be the sales forecast, accurately telling them what will be the sales forecast, will it help them improve their inventory, cash flows, operations, supply chain much better? Right? Are you getting the importance of how data can drive millions-dollar decision, $1 billion decision just with the simple data analysis, with the right data analysis? Exactly. Now, in this case, what did you do? You applied a statistical analysis, and can I say you created an equation called as y is equal to 10x? If you observe very carefully, isn't this the equation you used? If I convert this into an equation, can I say this is the equation that fits this data point? Do you agree? For this data point, can I say this is that equation that represents this data point really well? Yeah. If somebody asks you what will be the sales at 48, so you will simply do 10 into 48. Correct? 10 into 48, and that will give you 480. Correct? Now, if you have this statistical method, if you have this equation, can you preempt different scenarios and also do the planning according to that? Correct? And this is how the companies are able to make much better decisions with the help of the data. Now, in order to do all of this, can I say we need to take the help of the technology? Because is it possible to create the statistical analysis, analyze the data, get the data on a sheet of pen and a paper? Can you come up with this equation manually? Is it possible? Do you think we need to take the help of the uh, we need to take the help of the data in here? We need to take the help of the technology in here. It's possible, but it's stressful. Yeah. So we need to take the help of the what do you say? We need to take the help of the technology, right? We need to know some tech in here in order to execute this whole process. Okay. So just to reiterate what we have learned, how does the process of data analysis looks like? Let's go over it once more. Can I say it will all start with the step one being understanding the business problem? Yeah, manual and won't large. Right? It all starts with the business problem. For that business problem, step two, what did you do? Collect the data, understand which data can help us solve that particular problem. Correct? After you have got the data, once you have got that particular data, can I say that you try to do the preparation of the data? Now, what is this data preparation? Any data that you know in the world, is it always the most cleanest? Do you think the data is at a very clean format? Anyone who has seen some data, do you think the data is really clean? No. I don't know if you've heard this statement before. The statement is data is the new oil. Has anyone come across this quote? Data is the new oil. In some webinars, seminars, have you heard people saying data is the new oil? You would have heard about it. Trust me, if I were to connect that statement, I'll say the data is a crude oil. It's not oil, it's a crude oil. Crude oil means it's not so clean. So can I say we need to spend a lot of time in just cleaning the data? To get the data in the right format, right shape, we need to spend a lot of time in doing that. It's not that straightforward that we'll get the data in the most clean format. So we need to clean the data, prepare the data. Once you get the data, you do the exploratory analysis. Now, can we do this exploratory analysis using visualization? Can we see which variable is impacting? For example, in this case, can I draw a line chart and figure out what is the trend? Right? On this data, if I draw a line chart, can I say it will give me a trend and how the trend is looking like? So in order to analyze your data, can we use data visualization? and understand what is the trend that is going on, what is happening, what can happen. Yeah, so that's the next step. You try to analyze your data, you try to figure out what is happening with your data. Through that data, you will get some insights. That insights will create visualization, and that visualization will help a business make certain decisions. So this is the life cycle that we need to follow, right? Understand the business problem, collect the data, prepare the data, explore the data, generate the insight, present the insight using data visualization, track and measure, and the whole process kind of repeats. Okay, now what kind of data analysis can we do? There are like 4 kinds of data analysis that are available. The first one is called as the descriptive analytics. What is descriptive analytics? In this case, can I say the focus is what has happened in the past? Why did the sales, like what is the sales in this particular region? How much money did we make from a particular product? Which products are selling well? Which products are not selling well? So in descriptive analytics, can I say the question is to explore what has happened, what is the event has already happened, and you're trying to figure out what happened, right? For example, monthly sales report, how much is the sales every month? That's simple descriptive analytics. In that descriptive analytics, we try to figure out what has happened in the past. Okay, then there is something called as diagnostic analysis. In diagnostic analysis, we try to find out why it happened. For example, this example that we took here, the retail store sales is decreasing 5% month over month. Is it the case of descriptive statistics or diagnosis first, option 1 or option 2? A retail store sales is decreasing 5% month on month. We need to figure out why. Is it the case of descriptive statistics or is it the case of diagnostics? Option 1, option 2. What do you think? Option 2, diagnosis. Yes, it's a diagnosis. We're trying to figure out why it happened. We're trying to figure out the root cause of the problem, right? So that is like nothing but your diagnosis. In this third one, in which we are trying to predict the value. So can I consider it to be predictive analytics? The example that I gave you about the sales prediction, can I say we are forecasting what will happen in future based on what has happened in the past? So can I consider that to be like a predictive analytics? Yes, that is predictive analytics. If we're doing some forecasting, it becomes predictive analytics. And prescriptive analytics is based on this prediction. I'm telling, hey, you know what? We should store this much of inventory. We should have this much of cash level. So if I'm driving a decision on top of this output, can I consider it as prescriptive? Just like the doctor gives you prescription, isn't it like more of solution that you're giving? Yeah, I've told you the sales will be 450. But along with that, I'm saying, you know what? The minimum inventory level should be 200. That becomes your prescriptive analytics. Okay, so these are the 4 different kind of data analysis that we do in order to help the businesses make decision. We start, the most common one is what has happened. Then the more common one is why it happened. Then we try to find out what is likely to happen and then what we should do. So as the companies mature, they start with descriptive, then they go to diagnosis, then the predictive, and then the prescriptive. Okay, are these 4 terms making sense? Do remember them because there are like these are the flavors of analytics that we use in different situations. Do we need to do predictive? Do we need to do diagnosis? Because most of the problem can solve using diagnosis. But then we need some prediction. So we need to do some predictive analytics. Okay. Now, yeah. So if you remember, the steps comes here. Like we have understood the problem, we have collected the data, we have got the data preparation done. Then we try to figure out the exploratory data analysis. Okay, so let's try to understand what is this exploratory data analysis. Okay, let's take this data. The data is of orders, genders, age category, and sales. Okay, now you're trying to predict what will be the sales. You're trying to forecast what will be the sales. So this is your predictive variable or also known as output variable. Okay, and all of this gender and age category is your input variable. Okay, sorry for that. So this is the data that I have, order ID, gender, age category, and sales. I want to know what will be the sales. In order to know what will be the sales, I have this input variables. And these are your output variable. Okay, now if you observe very carefully, if you observe extremely carefully, Daniel, is everything okay? Tell me, if I look at gender, the gender M is having the sales of 100 and 600, which is 700. Okay, and look at this. Gender F is having the sales of another 700. So is gender influencing the sales? What do you think? Is gender having the impact on the sales? Is it having a statistically significant impact on the sales? If this is the data, male is 700, female is 700. So do you think is gender an important variable for your sales prediction? If you drop this particular variable, if the company is not focusing on gender specific columns in gender specific campaigns, yeah, gender is not having the variable. So can I say you're trying to understand your data and understand which variable is impacting? Can I consider this like an exploratory data analysis that you're doing? Maybe you're not taking a decision right now, but is it able to help you understand what is there in your data? Consider age category. Do you think you should consider age category for your sales prediction? Will you? In age category, 20 to 25 has the sale of 200 and 30 to 35 has the sales of 1200. Now, is it statistically significant? Is age category statistically impacting your sales? So in your analysis, in your prediction, in your whenever you're trying to analyze your sales, considering age category becomes extremely crucial, right? So this whole process where we try to understand our data really well is our exploratory data analysis. Are you getting it? The purpose of the exploratory data analysis is to understand the underlying structure, detect anomalies, and uncover patterns. You're trying, it's like data analysis, but you're trying to figure out what is present in your data. Okay, is this word and is this clear? Like what is EDA or exploratory data analysis? You will have a data and you will try to understand your data and see which variable is having the higher impact compared to the other variables. Okay, does it sound good? Any questions so far? Yeah. And what is the difference between exploratory and diagnostic? So in exploratory and so in diagnostic, you're trying to find out why it happened. When you go to your exploratory data analysis, your main idea is to understand your data. You're not really focused on why a certain thing is happening. You're just trying to understand your data. Oh, is gender playing a role? Is XYZ playing a role? Right? It's a part of the, so whenever you're doing like any kind of analysis, you go through that. Because if gender is having no impact on the sales, can you drop this variable for doing the sales forecast? Let's say if the question was to forecast the sales. Now, given that we have seen that gender is having no impact, can we make a decision that we don't need to consider gender for sales prediction? Correct? And can I also say that whatever analysis that you do in your exploratory data analysis can also give you the diagnostic indirectly? Doris, isn't it? Whatever you do here, will it help you answer your question like what is the root cause? Exactly. So this is a step. What you're trying to do is diagnose a problem, and EDA becomes a step in that diagnosis. It is a step in prediction. It is a step in diagnosis, descriptive, prescriptive, anyway, because first step you need to do is understand your data. So no matter what analysis you're doing, EDA is not limited to only descriptive or any other thing. It is the part of every process in all the four. The only thing is that you use it differently. Okay. Cool. And what are the steps that is included in here? It is to make sure that you have the data clean. So even before you create the charts and do any of the analysis, you need to make sure your data is clean. You need to make sure that there are no duplicates. You need to ensure that there are no missing values. You need to ensure that the data type is correct. So first you try to form the data in the right format. Then you use some basic, for example, you can do sum, you can do minimum, you can do maximum, you can do mean, median, standard deviation, and try and understand each and every variable and its impact on the dependent variable. In this case, can I say a bar chart would have also helped us in knowing the impact of, say, sales and age category, or this gender and sales? The same insight that we got from doing aggregations, can I say even visualization would have helped us here? What do you think? Can we do some, can we understand our data? Can we understand all the variables in our data by drawing some charts and visuals? Yes, absolutely yes, right? So you can do some data visualization. Can we find out the correlation? For example, this example was of correlation. Can I say that the sales and temperature are correlated to each other? Increase in temperature leads to increase in sales, or decrease in temperature leads to decrease in sales? So in this example, if you draw a scatter plot kind of a thing, will it tell you whether there's a correlation that exists between the two variables? Yes. So this is what you do. The idea here is, in the EDA step, is to understand your data thoroughly. It is, you should know each and every variable and its impact on your dependent variable, and you use like data collection, descriptive statistics, visualization, and correlation as some of the steps for this. Okay, do you have any questions on the steps required to do this kind of analysis? All good till here? Okay. Yeah, so in the whole process, like we have seen from the start, if you want to communicate any data insights to your business stakeholders, can I say data visualization will play a very important role? If you give them a large complex data, will they be able to make any decision based on that? No, right? Like if you give them a very big Excel sheet with a lot of data, will they be able to make any decision, any business stakeholders? No, right? So can I consider creating charts? Using charts could be a good way to present the data insights and help businesses make decisions. Okay, now in that temperature to sales, which chart do you think would have been a good chart? From the views in here, if I want to know the correlation between temperature and sales, which chart do you think would have been a best chart here? Any guesses from the options below? Line chart 1. Anything else? How about scatter plot? What do you think? This one. Do you think this can also tell us a very good insight? Yeah. Bar chart, but they are not categorical, right? They are not like bars. Temperature and sales. So in that case, this scatter plot would have been a good option. Okay. So we need to learn different charts for different examples. What charts would have been used? The bar chart would have been good for the second example, gender to sales, age category to sales. In that case, the bar chart would have been the best chart. If you are doing some time series analysis, let's say you are over the period of time you're trying to plot the sales. In that case, what chart would have been best chart? Any guesses? If you are doing some time series analysis over the time, which is how the sales is coming, which chart would have helped you? A line chart would have really helped you, right? This is the best chart for the time series variable. Okay, so there are different charts that you can use and find out what's happening with your data, and these are all part of your exploratory data analysis process. Okay, now just what is the tools? If you remember, I said, you know what, to do all of this process, we need tech. Tech is nothing but tools. So let's try and understand which tech you should be learning specifically for for learning data analysis. Excel is your evergreen tool. I'm sure everyone has used Excel. It's a very good tool for doing some quick analysis, ad hoc analysis. So you need to learn Excel. The data in every organization, do you think it is stored in an Is it stored in a Excel sheets? Let's say Instagram. Do you think Instagram stored all of its data in an Excel sheet? No. Where does it store? It stores at a location called as database. And the only coding language that this database understand is your SQL. If you want the data out of the database, you need to learn one language, which is your SQL. Once you get the data, you can use Python, which is more advanced, or you can use Excel, depending upon how much the data is. If the data is too large, use Python. If the data is small, you can use Excel. And in order to create those charts that you want to present to your stakeholders, can I say we need to learn a visualization tool either of Power BI or Tableau? Right? This is what you need to learn. Power BI or Tableau, anything is fine. Tableau, in case you are looking for a top companies, Power BI, if you're looking for more companies, the adoption of Power BI is like 70% market share is of Power BI. Okay, so this is what you need to learn in order to make sure that you learn the world of data. Okay, and one small thing, can I say this data and analysis is actually used in every vertical of the business? This slide that you see is from the company called as Nestle. They came to us and be like, where can we use data analysis? Can they use it in understanding or building the products? I don't know if you've had Kit Kat as a chocolate, the company that manufactures Kit Kat, Nestle. So for them, we made this particular part. So can I say in product development, they can use data analysis? Which product, which segment, which geography, right? Can they rely on a lot on data for knowing where is the market, where is the geography, where is the opportunity? Correct. Can Nestle use data for doing sales forecasting? If they're able to do sales forecasting, can they do inventory planning based on that? If I know the sales will be 450, I'll plan my inventory according to that. I'll plan my sourcing according to that. I'll plan my financials according to that. The example that I gave you, right? If they know what will be the sales, will they be able to plan their manufacturing really better? If they know what will be the sales or demand, can they plan their manufacturing better because they have to produce all of these goods, right? If they are able to know what will be the sales, will they be able to plan their categories better? Which categories they need to focus on? What should be the price of the product? So can I say in pricing, again, a lot of data goes into that. Correct. In sales and marketing, do you think nowadays, if you see an ad, can I say it is a targeted ad? Because I've observed that you're looking for a product. If you are looking for a product, can I say that it should reach out to the right person at the right time in the right channel? Suddenly, if you go outside and you're like, okay, I want to know about product X, you will see all the ads on your social media feed, right? So again, that is using data. And if I want to know whether the products are working well, the customers are happy, I need to again use the data. So can I say in the whole journey of the company, every decision that the company needs to make, can I say they require data science, data analytics talent? Right? Can you do it without data? All of these things? I don't think so, right? So can I say this leads to a lot of opportunities? And if you learn this really well, can I say it will open door for your careers to be in different domains, different verticals, and help companies make decisions. And if you are helping companies make decisions worth millions of dollars, the rewards are also really very, very high. Okay, so this was a small presentation that I wanted to give you about what is data analytics, what you need to learn in data analytics, and why you should be learning data analytics. Okay, do you have any questions to ask? Anyone? All right. Mohit, I guess Mohit will take on from here. But thank you so much. I just hope you've got some gist of like why it is so important to learn analytics right now.
Very well. So, how is everyone doing?
Great. Just one question I'll answer. What is better data science or data analytics? See, these are the same part of the journey. Data analytics revolves around structured data, tabular data. Data science involves a little bit about images and videos. I think if you're starting your career, start with data analytics, learn how to work on structured data, and then slowly you progress to unstructured data, which is data science. Prediction is nowadays part of data analytics. Predictions is not data science. Prediction is still data analytics. If you are doing it on a structured data, it is still part of data analytics. All right. Thank you, everyone. Mohit, happy that if you can take over.
Very well. So let me just share my screen.
Sure.
So how is everyone doing? And how did you find this presentation and this session by amazing Saurabh, right? So one thing that I would want to understand is, right, everybody here would be thinking about, right, that at this point of time, it is really imperative that we take up the mantle and move ahead to upskill ourselves in the field of data analysis. Particularly also think about in the future to move into the field of data science and even cover artificial intelligence, so that, of course, a lot of safeguard mechanisms can be put up with us so that our professional career is safeguarded, right? And as you have seen, more and more organizations are looking towards professionals having this skills as a basic trait for them to be even recruited, right? Now, what exactly is going to be coming to you is an advanced level requirement of knowledge and problem solving capabilities using data analysis. You now have the understanding that you need to have that sort of knowledge. How will you get it? Right. There are, of course, multiple ways for anybody to learn the knowledge in any field, right? There will be hundreds of books, right? But do you think that as working professionals, it will be easy for us to keep up and learn everything from books given our time and without the directions from experts? Understand what exactly would be required for us to showcase that sort of an amazing knowledge strength of ours to the recruiters, right? So it becomes difficult, right? Now, in this case, what is going to be helpful for you is to have a very structured learning and also to have a backing, a leverage which you can utilize, wherein, of course, learning from an online source, like a free online source, it's going to give you a basic understanding of the process, the domain, but how exactly will you be solving problems? And even if you have basic understanding of problem solvings, once you go for an organization or any interview process, one thing that they will be asking is for your experience, for your background, for where have you learned these aspects? Have you done it on your own? Do you have any credible sources to basically prove that you are an advanced level knowledge holder in data analysis, right? There comes, of course, having a very strong leverage in terms of having the name of a university associated with your profile, right? Now, here we are talking about the University of Texas at Austin, specifically McCombs School of Business, which is providing this amazing data analytics essentials program for the professionals all over the world to upskill while they are working in their jobs and learn from the basics to the most advanced level the knowledge of data analysis, including you working on Excel, everything that we have discussed, SQL, Python, visualization software such as Tableau, right? Basic understanding what exactly is data analysis, what is business intelligence, what is data visualization, how can you be an asset to an organization in this field. It is what the focus of the program is, right? Now, on your screen, you can see, right, that this program is going to be for 13 weeks, and this is going to be an online program. So it's going to be highly flexible for you as working professionals. You will not be having any issues in terms of learning some of the most advanced global knowledge of innovations in the field of data analysis. And there will be professionals such as Saurabh, who will make sure that you upskill and also practice your hands-on exposure to solve business problems using data analysis skills. Now, how this is going to be taken up in this program, right? So this program is going to be for 13 weeks. A lot of flexibility will be provided to all the professionals who are going to be joining the program. You are looking to start from the basics, but in a very stepwise manner. You are going to be going ahead towards intermediate stage, and finally, before the program completes, you will be learning some of the most advanced level knowledge and skills in the field of applied data analysis, right? There will be hands-on exposure for you to work on your projects, This is going to be helpful for you in terms of making sure that everything that you are learning, you are also learning from the perspective of how to apply it in the businesses, right? Now, coming to the weekly time commitment, let us say, right? As a business professional, as a professional, how much time will you be having on a weekly basis to give for a program such as this? So these programs will require you to invest almost 8 to 10 hours of your time on a weekly basis, but have no sort of apprehensions in this regard. You will be given a lot of flexibility. So you can understand, right? It's an online program by a top university in the world, right? You are looking at your weekdays, conceptual learning, which will be done as per your own time convenience whenever you have the free time. Only on the weekend, we will be having your live session. The live session will be for at least 2 hours, and it will be taken care by an industry expert such as Mr. Saurabh, who will be making sure that you learn some of the most advanced business application knowledge of the concepts that you have learned throughout the week, right? Now, coming to the curriculum of the program, that is really important, right? So the curriculum of the program is quite comprehensive. You start everything from the basics, right? And you will be having this sort of understanding that you will start everything from learning Excel. You understand what is the life cycle of analysis model. And then you start learning how to then capture your data, how to get it filtered, how to get it queried using SQL. Then you move on to the higher level analysis. How do you do advanced analytics using Python programming? Now, why is Python taken up in this program? It is first and foremost an open source language, right, of database management system. Secondly, it has one of the most comprehensive library available on the planet for analysis purposes, which is going to be essentially making your work for analysis a lot more easier than, let us say, you were learning about R programming, right? So in this case, you are going to be having that sort of a understanding. Now, coming to back to the program itself, right? Just a second. Yeah. So now coming back to the program itself, after your Python programming has been done, you will also be going for your visualization practice. So how do you learn data visualization using Tableau will be taken up in this program. And for each of these skills, you will be having an industry standard project, which you will be completing under the guidance of an industry expert, right? Now, coming back to the weekdays and your delivery of the program. So on the weekdays, you will be having your conceptual modules from the faculty of Mecom School of Business. This will be completed by you as per your own time convenience whenever you have the free time, either in the morning, in the evening, it's up to you. And after that, over the weekend, it will be either on Saturday or Sunday, the most convenient day for you. You will be having a live session for at least 2 hours with an industry expert like Mr. Saurabh, and your size of the micro cohort will be kept at maximum about 25 professionals from different countries, different geographies, giving you a global exposure, as well as your need for personalized guidance will be taken care by the industry expert, right? So your focus will be how to apply those concepts in real world problems. So for that, you will be having more than 15 industry standard case studies to complete in the program, and then you will be working on 3 industry standard projects, right? Now, coming to the aspects of this programs, how data analysis is going to be covered as a professional, what should you keep in your mind, right? So there will be, of course, a little bit programming. As you have seen, Python programming, SQL will be taught to you. You just need to have an open mindset. Everything is going to be started from the basics. You need not have any background in programming to join this program. You should have basic problem solving capabilities and aptitude, right? You should understand how to think about a solution. And you should have a little bit understanding of mathematics, business statistics, as Saurabh has told. It's going to be important for you to make those predictions possible as a data analyst, right? Then you take up all these learning in the program. You inculcate the analytics algorithms, the knowledge of statistics, as well as the tools and techniques to build your industry-centric analysis capabilities, right? Now, this program is going to be an official program by University of Texas at Austin. So on your successful completion, you are looking at a certificate of completion directly from the University of Texas at Austin. As you can see, it's going to be a proper accreditation from one of the top university in the entire world. And the QR code will be helpful for you and even the recruiters to scan it and find your details mentioned as an enrolled learner of UT Austin in one of its program, right? Now, this program is best fit for professionals who are looking to learn data analytics from basics to the advanced industry standard. You can be a fresher, you can be a middle management professional, or even a leader in your organization. But if in case your purpose is to start understanding the know-how, the nooks and crannies about analytics in your job, in your organization, in your business, this program is going to be absolutely comprehensively covering all the aspects for you. All right. Now, what is the process of enrollment in this program? Right. Now, this program will always give you an immense amount of support. You just need to apply for this program. Right. Now, once you fill up the application, which is going to be free of cost, right, it's going to be going through a process of screening. So a program advisor is going to be connecting with you, understand your profile, your requirement, and based upon your candidature, you will be offered a seat in this program. On your successful joining, you will start learning everything from the basics. As you can see, the program's application deadline at this point of time, it is today. Even if in case you go to the website of Great Learning, you'll find that today is the deadline of your admission process. So you need to just go and fill up your application. And even for that purpose, you will just find the application form link. You need not go and find it anywhere. You'll find it in the chat itself, right? I would highly suggest that you fill up the application form. It's not going to cost you anything. Understand the program, understand and get yourself screened by an program advisor. Take up your chance. The fee of the program comprehensively is 1,800 US dollars, which is the comprehensive fee for the entire program. It includes your comprehensive career assistance, your personalized mentorship, your portfolio development, which you will be getting after your program completes so that you can go for your interviews and showcase your hands-on knowledge of data analysis, plus your career, the career assistance that you will be having in this program will ensure that your visibility over the LinkedIn is increased by magnifolds. And you are also going to be having your resume reviewed, and we will be upgrading it to meet the best of the industry standard. You will also be preparing for your interviews, right? A program manager will be there by your side to assist you at each and every point of time. So if in case you are having any problem in this program, there will never be a case of having an issue. Just let your program manager know, and within 24 to 48 business hours, you will find them completely resolving your problem, right? So this is the chance for you to go ahead and fill up your application forms. This is going to be ensuring that you take up the program and you start the process of admission. The program's cohort date will be given to you by your program advisor. And also, each geography will be having its own installment options available, right? There will be no interest because this is an official program from the university. So you will not be having any sort of additional payments. Only a tuition fee is going to be there, and you will be paying it in installments depending upon the geography. Now, just let me help you understand what is the collaboration between Great Learning and University of Texas at Austin. So Great Learning is the delivery partner of this program, which will be taking care of your admission process and your 24 hours support in the program. Everything else, your academic, your curriculum of the program, your projects, your accreditation will be taken care by the University of Texas at Austin, right? So I hope this was really helpful for you. If in case you have any questions, please make sure that you are asking them from me, and I will be more than glad to cover as many questions as I can within this short span of time. Please go ahead. So I'll just wait for a couple of minutes so that if in case you have any sorts of questions, please go ahead and type them in the chat so that I can address them and assist you with your proper resolution. Very well. So I hope that was a very enlightening sort of yeah, very insightful, right? So an enlightening webinar today. I really appreciate the fact that you have taken a good amount of time from your busy schedule and are here with us. I look forward to connecting with you very soon once you are going through the process of applications, and let us assist you with the process of admissions and help you with the process of building your career as a data analyst, right? All the very best, and hope you're going to have a great day, right? Bye.